101 on page 103. We're trying to find the pattern. 6432, what is it?
They're dividing by 2, so it'd be 2. So it'd be 2
It
and
says,
1.
yeah, it says find the next two numbers, so make sure you put 2 answers. So they're dividing by 2, so it goes 8, 4, 2 and 1.
Maybe say dividing by
2 and 1. No, I don't really care about that part. If you got the first answer right, it's because you knew the pattern, or you cheated and wanted to. Number 3. Uh-oh.
Oh, that one's different.
You're
This is the one that always fools people.
adding the previous two numbers?
No, 1 plus 4 is not 9. Oh, there is.
Oh, I'm looking at 2, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was looking at the
Oh,
wrong
yeah,
one.
that was number 2. On number 3, there's actually 2 ways you can do this one.
How?
Well,
Oh, I got it.
Trey?
Number 3.
Yeah.
It's 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 4 times 4.
They're all squares.
And then
But also they're adding, if you look at the adding, what are they adding? Odds. They're adding 3, 5, 7, 9. But it is also square numbers. Like 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared.
So the next one would be like 36.
Yes.
And then I don't want to do the math. But what is
7
it?
times 7.
49.
7 times 7.
Of course.
Okay,
You make me sad, Trey.
Sam, I'm the one who figured out the problem. Alright, Sam.
Okay.
Fair.
This was like lesson 1. It was called, what kind of reasoning was this? When you see like,
Deductive.
no, inductive. The other one.
She had a
So,
50-50.
inductive reasoning was like, I notice a pattern and I think this is going to happen next. Deductive reasoning is, here's the rules, therefore this is true. So deductive reasoning is supposed to be 100% proof, assuming that your basic assumptions are true. Inductive reasoning is probably true. Okay, number 5. This is also inductive reasoning. The product of 2 negative numbers is
A positive.
positive.
Does that mean 2 wrongs make a right?
I used my positive,
No, it
of
means
course.
2 negatives multiplied to a positive. That's what it means.
I figured.
Well, actually, if you want to get spiritual,
Don't get
we sinned, and therefore Jesus was killed. That's 2 wrongs, and then we were made right. So that's 2 wrongs make a right.
Whoa, I never thought about that.
Mind blown. Okay, I'm concerned about number 6, but I'll let you struggle with it on your own for a while.
What?
Before I
That is the Mr. Jordan.
you gotta use some of your own brain power here. The rules are give a counterexample to disprove each statement.
Okay.
The sum of any 2 numbers is greater than either number. So they're saying this is not true. What's an example to prove it's not true? A counterexample.
Adding a negative.
Yeah, so normally if I do like 1 plus 2, they're saying the sum of the number is greater than any 2 numbers. But Sam said, what if we do a negative? Okay, the sum of the numbers, is it greater than these 2 numbers?
No.
It's not greater than this one. So
Negative 1 plus negative 2.
this is an example. Actually, that wouldn't work because -1 and -2 are greater than -3. But this would be a counterexample because the sum of the numbers is not greater than both the numbers. There's a lot of counterexamples we could use like that, but you just need to list one counterexample. Okay, on 6, I guess I will give you a hint. I won't give you the answer. Well, let's talk about it a little bit. What is a rational number?
1, 2, 3.
Rational number.
Yeah.
They're integer whole numbers.
A rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction over a fraction, or a number over a number, like in fraction. But there is one example where that doesn't work. So that's kind of what you're supposed to find. What you guys worry
try.
Okay, state whether each sentence is true or false or not a statement. I don't think we'll have too much trouble with this. Every triangle is a polygon. True or false? True. Number 11. Is it cold outside?
Not a statement.
Not a
It's a
statement.
question.
It's neither true nor false. Numbers 12 and 13 have a couple symbols that I missed because the homework didn't have it, so I didn't go over it. This is not gonna be like on the test, but if it is on the test, I'll just tell you. This symbol means every, and this backwards E thing means some. Okay, yeah, and this one we talked about a lot. What did that symbol mean?
No.
Not. What else am I forgetting? Well, chapter 1 had this symbol like this, not in set A, but that's not really this chapter. Am I forgetting any symbols?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, if P then Q, the arrow symbol. The double arrow means if P, if and only if Q, so like works both directions. Okay, number 13, write each statement given P. 3 points are collinear. So we're assuming 3 points are collinear. So what would A be if it says not P? 3 points are not collinear. Or non-collinear, if we want to be fancy.
I thought I was just choosing one of them.
Exactly what I thought for a second.
B's kind of weird. Doesn't really change it. So for B, it's the every
Every
or all symbol. Maybe I should put every comma all. Means the same thing basically.
all.
Yeah, they use the word all instead of every, but all 3 points are collinear. Okay, what does the backwards E mean? Some. Okay, if I said some 3 points are collinear, it sounds like nonsense. So what's a better way of saying that?
3 points or
Not
sometimes
every-
Sometimes 3 points are collinear.
She just.
That's a pretty good way of saying it. Sometimes 3 points are collinear. I would take that one. What they put was there exist 3 points that are collinear. Or sometimes 3 points are collinear is pretty good too. Okay, on D, what do those two symbols mean?
Not
all.
Not all.
doesn't that mean it's just like
Not all 3 points are collinear?
Okay, yeah, but what's a better way of saying that? Instead of not all 3 points are collinear, that's kind of weird.
sometimes 3 points aren't collinear?
Yeah. They put some, I don't think they said it very well. They put some 3 points are non-collinear. Some 3 points. Yeah, I think we said it better. Okay. I don't think I did a very good job back when we talked about this, but when we negate decent, if I say not some, what does that mean?
Not all.
Well, if I say not some, that would be like none.
Couldn't it also be all of them?
No. So, because if it's all of them, then that means some of them are.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you ever have not some, this is for number 14, although I'm not going to do it. If it says not some, that's the same thing as saying none. If I say not all, what would that be the same? Like maybe I should take an example.
Some?
Not all people like Chick-fil-A. Okay.
Do you like Chick-fil-A?
So what's that the same thing as saying?
Some people like Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. And here's where it gets tricky because it could be some people do and some people don't. You could say either. Not all people like Chick-fil-A.
Some people like Chick-fil-A, some people don't.
Some like and dislike Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Yeah, we need to put some don't because if you say some people like Chick-fil-A, that could still imply that everybody likes Chick-fil-A. Just because if some do, that's not how we normally use it when we're speaking, but if you think about it, if you say some people like it, that doesn't mean that everybody doesn't like it. You're just affirming that there are some people who like it. Anyway, the opposite of not all would be some don't. That's dealt with 14. So on 14, when it says negate each statement, just basically you're putting a not in there, but say it with correct English instead of.
What about
So
number?
on A, don't put some sports are not fun.
Some sports are fun?
Some sports are fun.
Maybe that-
Or, no. Actually, I said that wrong. Not some sports are not fun.
What?
So that you wouldn't. Not some sports are not fun, but what's not some?
No.
No sports are fun. Wow.
No sports are not fun. Yeah, you wouldn't say that.
Dude,
What's a better? No, we should have stuck with the original. The problem was, so what did you say originally, Sam? Sports are fun. So they put all sports are fun, which is,
Not true.
well, we're not doing true and false. We're just negating the statement. So what Sam said was right, but it didn't specify that that means all sports. But yeah, we'll stick with that. That's fine.
Wait a minute, what are you sticking with?
Oh my gosh.
Some sports are, not some sports are fun?
No. So I said some sports are not fun.
But then I thought you said.
So if there's not some, I mean, yeah. I did say not some sports are not fun. So no sports are not fun means all sports are fun. Sports are fun. Okay, 15.
Wait.
What was a disjunction? There's a word that goes with disjunction and conjunction.
Conjunction.
Which one was?
Disjunction is or, and conjunction is and.
Yeah. I don't know. It might help to remember this if you think of it. It's in alphabetical order. Like conjunction, it comes before disjunction alphabetically, and comes before or alphabetically.
Whoa.
It's just a trick to maybe.
I was gonna say if you conjoin something, then just and.
What?
Okay, conjoin
And.
is like and. I don't really have anything for it. Whatever trick helps you remember, that's just what we're trying to do here. So 15, birds fly or fish swim. Is that a conjunction or disjunction?
Is
There's
So
disjunction.
in the directions they say you can put a capital D, big D. And then say whether it's true or false. Is it true that birds fly or fish swim?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Sounds interesting.
So remember, if it's an or, only one of them has to be true. 17, every pyramid is a cone and every prism is a cylinder.
That's a conjunction.
That's a conjunction, so put a C.
I feel like that's false.
Okay, you guys remember pyramids and cones? I don't know if we ever mastered that or not. Pyramids, by the book's definition, cone is any base that comes up to a point. It doesn't have to be a circle. So pyramids are types of cones, that's true. And the same thing. The book's definition of cylinder is any parallel bases that are connected. But I don't remember their definition, but it's basically any two bases that are connected. So by the book's definition, a prism, which has to have flat surfaces, is also a cylinder.
So it's true.
So it's true. Okay, write each statement in if-then form. Then write an equivalent disjunction. That one I don't really like the question. The equivalent disjunction was
If it has ink.
if A then B. Disjunction means or, right? So it's either not A or B. These two are basically the same thing. So they're saying if A happens, then B will happen. So you got two options, either not A happens or B happens. Because if A does happen, then B happens, or if A doesn't happen, then this one happens. So anyway. So as an example on 19, what's 19 as an if-then statement?
If the
If-
pen
if-
writes, then it's.
If the pen writes, then it has ink in it. Actually, it goes the other way. Sorry. Because it's saying that whether it writes or not is dependent on if it has ink. So if the pen has ink, then it writes. So the equivalent disjunction, not A or B, so does not have ink. So either the pen does not have ink, or it writes. Either pen does not have ink or it writes. So not A or B. Okay, getting close. A couple more odds. 21 and 22, those are the big boys, and 23 and 24 are pretty big too. So converse, we're supposed to write the converse, the inverse, the contrapositive, and list all of those three as true or false. So in 21, the original sentence is if two angles are adjacent, then they have a common side. Is the original statement true or false?
True.
True. That's the definition of adjacent angles. They didn't ask us for that, true or false though. We might have to use the,
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Then say whether each is true or false.
Yeah.
Yeah, each being the three things that you wrote. Okay. Yeah, it is very vague, but I'm looking at the answers here and they only have 3 true or falses, so.
Okay.
Anyway, do you guys remember which one was the converse? It's been a while since we did converse. So if the original statement is A then B, what's the converse statement?
B then A.
B then A. I'll just call it con. What
So,
was the inverse? Let's go all through all these.
not A.
If not, it is not.
Not A, then not B. And contra,
Not B then not A.
right, not B. You do both of these. Not B, and then switch the order, then not A. So you switch the order and then you switch the, with the knots. Which were logically equivalent?
The
The original was-
and the contra,
Right.
and the middle two.
These two are contrapositives of each other.
Okay.
So these two are the same. So if this one's true, this one's true. If this one's false, this one's false. Same with these two. They could all be true, they could all be false, but these two will always match and these two will always match.
Got it.
So we said the original statement was true, so our third statement has to be true. We'll talk about it when we get there. But anyway, you guys think you can remember those 3 things?
Nope.
Converse, inverse, contrapositive. Well, try better by Thursday. There'll probably be a couple
try.
questions on it. I don't really know a trick for that, honestly. I think if I just keep listing them over and over, maybe it'll just start sinking in our brains. Converse is backwards, inverse is knots, and then contrapositive is both. Contrapositive is the biggest, most complex word, and you have to do the most in it, so that helps. Alright, so the converse, what would, you guys tell me, what's the converse of if 2 angles are adjacent, they have a common side?
If they have a common side, then the 2 angles are adjacent.
Yeah. If 2 angles, there's a couple ways you could say it. Have a common side, then they are adjacent. Period. Let's go ahead and figure out if that's true or false.
False.
If they have a common side, do they have to be adjacent?
Well,
False.
You're guessing false?
Yep.
What if I told you? You were wrong.
Well,
I don't accept it.
does that count as a common side? I'm trying to think here.
no.
Nope. False.
Because they don't share the whole side?
If they share a side.
False.
If they share a side, then I'm gonna guess,
True.
I wouldn't call this a common side because they
Yeah,
don't
no.
share that. But I'm not, actually I'm not sure.
Still the same side though.
He's not sure.
Let's see, they put true, so the book didn't think so either.
Imagine being true right now.
The force is not strong.
So it's true.
Do we have to write this the converse? Or do we?
No, we just put it in order that they asked for it, it's
Alright.
fine. So that is true.
Then the conditional.
Okay, the conditional was the original statement. So, this stands for converse. Conditional is just an if-then statement. Technically, all these are conditional. What's the inverse?
If 2 angles
If
don't
they
have,
don't?
or if 2 angles aren't adjacent, then they don't have one side.
Are not adjacent. And they don't share a side, have a common side.
That is true.
No, that's, yeah. No, 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 no.
Right?
She was just trying.
Yeah, if the first and second are true, they're all gonna have to be true because these two are logically equivalent, these two are logically equivalent. So, yeah, that's true. Two angles are not adjacent and they don't have common side. That's definitely true. Okay,
Is that it?
and the contrapositive.
I'll do
So-
it, Mr. Jordan.
Alright.
Oh, no.
If they don't have a common side, then two angles aren't adjacent.
Okay, if two angles don't have a adjacent. Can we spell adjacent now?
Nice. That is true.
A lot of writing in there.
Mr. Jordan?
Yep.
I was thinking about this, like, since that question, do you like
Oh no, I was looking at the wrong side. They did put the
He's
second.
avoiding the question.
Do you like Chick-fil-A? Answer me.
Yeah. Why were you gonna attack me if I didn't?
Yeah.
Let's throw my book at you.
Gonna throw the book at him?
How dare you?
That was so sorry and thank you not to harm me.
Okay, so,
This is a fully Chick-fil-A class.
No,
Mr.
really.
Jordan, we don't have time to do 23 and 24.
no, I'm saying on, nah, never mind. Let's-
So we have half of the worksheet worked out by ourselves.
Yep,
Dude,
and about 10 minutes. 23, if a figure,
I don't want to do it, but
okay, we're supposed to write the converse and the biconditional. What's a biconditional? It's a statement that works both ways. The converse and the original statement go both ways. But you can write it in one sentence by connecting the two parts with if and only if. It means it works both ways. So what is the converse of 23 though?
The Converse?
Converse meant what?
B than A.
Yeah.
If a triangle has four sides,
No, if it has four sides.
If
if and only if it has four
Not a
sides.
triangle. If a figure has four sides, then it is a triangle. I almost used the triangle symbol. Okay, it does say, we're supposed to say whether all three are true or false on this, like the original conditional, the
I think it's
Converse. So was the original conditional true or false? Figures triangle has four sides. False. Triangles do not have four sides. Okay, is the converse true? If a figure has four sides, then it is a triangle.
false.
Okay, does anybody know how to write the biconditional? Sam?
If a figure has four
Nope.
sides,
Doesn't start with if. If is in the middle.
a figure has four sides.
Okay.
Figure is a triangle if and only if it has four sides.
Yes. A figure is a triangle if and only if. You just gotta kind of think of a way that it makes sense. If you put if and only if in the middle. A figure is a triangle if and only if it has four sides. And is that true or false? Okay, biconditionals they're kind of like and statements. It means it works both directions. So if one of these is false, the original or the converse, this is going to be false. If they're both true, then the biconditional is true. Alright, why don't you guys work on that? We're actually going to be working on this for the next couple of days, but I'm adding on tomorrow. But if you want to keep pace, you need to get to 24 today.
Today.
Yeah, I got 2 minutes. Good luck.